Hey friends, I have here with me today Betty Crane. She is one of our founding members and has been a cornerstone of this church for quite some time. Betty, it is great to be here with you today. I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about how you came to be in Cartersville.
How I came to be in Cartersville is an interesting question. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. I was a Presbyterian. I went to Florida Southern College. You know, that's a beautiful, nice Methodist school in Lakeland, Florida. Graduated there in '64. Now, before I left Jacksonville, the minister at the Presbyterian church there was Reverend J.W. Stonebreaker, and he was very involved with our youth at that time, and I was in high school, of course. And at one time, I told him, I said, if I ever decide to go into Christian education, I want to come work for you. And, you know, that was just a comment that I thought, yeah, I really would like to do that. So I went off to school and graduated at Florida Southern. And in my senior year, I had already made plans to begin teaching in Atlanta. I had a dear friend, and we were going to go together to Atlanta. We had our room, our apartment, our things were planned out to the T. We knew we'd been wanting to do this since middle school. So we were ready. And when I was doing my practice teaching in Orlando, I get a letter from Reverend J.W. Stonebreaker, who had been sent up to Cartersville from the First Presbyterian Church in Jacksonville.
Get out.
And I get a letter from him, and he says, at one time you told me if you were interested in Christian education that you would come work for me. He said, I need a summer youth worker, and would you be interested? Well, I just flipped, and I said, I would love it. I'm coming to Atlanta to teach school in the fall, and a summer job would be great. So I came up to Cartersville for the summer, worked for the Presbyterian Church, had a wonderful time. It was great. The day before I was to leave to go home to get ready to go to Atlanta and get everything together to start the school year, one of the Presbyterian members called me and said, Betty, when are you leaving town? And I said, well, I'm leaving tomorrow to go back to Jacksonville. He said, well, I've got somebody here that's just dying to meet you. And I said, well, send him over. Well, that was my husband, Bert Crane.
Oh.
He came, and then that was like June or May of '64. We were married in December of '64, and I've been here ever since, and it's just been amazing, because I just would have missed it if it had been another day.
One day.
Yes.
That's amazing. So you are one of the founding members of Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about how Trinity got started.
Trinity got started, when we were married, I became a member of Sam Jones Methodist because he was a member there, and it helped for lots of reasons. And during that time there was a move for this county they wanted to buy Sam Jones property for parking. There was a real parking issue there. And that got the congregation pretty much in an uproar, and there were those of us who really felt like, yeah, let's sell it and move out. Don Hart was our minister at that time, and I think he was in favor of the sale too. They had property that we thought we would be able to buy, and had all that sort of in the background. But we had to have it come to a vote, and when it came to a vote, the church was packed, and the vote was so close that it pretty well split the church. So at that time, my husband looked at Rudy Baker, who was the district superintendent in our area at that time, and said, what would it involve to start a new church? And the rest is history. It took several meetings, a lot of worry and work, but it was the most wonderful time to really get our hearts into something like that, and we knew what we wanted to do. And Don Hart was behind us. He was helping us, but we knew that the way we couldn't leave it the way it was and stay there, because the division was so close.
Yeah.
And things began to happen. I did write down some dates just because I couldn't remember them all. But in 1982, the group approached the Rome District Superintendent Rudy Baker to start a new church. And then in 1982, Bishop Joel McDavid authorized the group to begin planning to find a new church. We had to find property and all that, which we did. And then in 1983, Reverend Steve Lyle was our first pastor. Now, we started meeting at Stiles Auditorium, which is a school building that's been renovated. It was perfect because they had an auditorium, seats, and then they had classrooms. So for at least a year, we met at Stiles Auditorium. And one of the funniest things that we thought about, the choir had to line up outside to go in every Sunday morning because there was no way we could get into the building without all lining up. And this was like 30, 40 people. And we were there for a whole year, and we did not have rain on any Sunday of that whole year when we lined up to go into the church, because we wore robes, and we have to stand out there a while and wait. But it never rained, and we couldn't get over the fact that we did that for a whole year. We go into the, it may have rained afterwards, it may have rained before, but while we were out there lined up waiting, we never got wet.
That's awesome.
That was just kind of a fun story, but it was a wonderful time.
So tell me what it is that you love most about this church.
First of all, I love its resilience. I've never seen a body of believers. I call them the band of believers. There is a band of us that have been here a long time. The resilience of this church, because we have had so many ups and downs. And I do believe that we are who we say we are. And with the last upheaval we've been through, I think we've proven that. It was a risky time for us. It was worrisome, and I just feel like we're doing the right thing in my heart.
And who are we?
Who are we?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good question. Who are we? We are committed Christians. We are open-minded. We are hardworking. There was a time when we were starting that we were absolutely on fire. And we often said, can we keep this? Can we keep this? Well, I think it's come back. So I'm really excited about it.
What is it that you want people in the future to remember about Trinity?
That we survived, that we made it, that we're here, we're still here, we're still doing what we said we set out to do. And we're here in the community. We've made a difference, I think. The people. It's just a wonderful place to be.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I can't. I wish my husband were here. I know he'd have a lot to say. He was a big part of why we're here today. That I miss. But no, we're on our way. Still, we haven't gotten to where we need to be yet, but we're getting there.
Thanks.